She was injured after a suspect shot at her during a violent crime spree that left 2 people dead. Monroe police said the community is invited to help welcome her back this morning. It's happening at the Monroe Police Department parking lot at 8:30.
And let's get a check on those area roadways. For the most part, we're not off to a bad start to our Monday following this one active crash. It's on Albemarle Road at Sharon Amity Road, seeing some impacts there, so make sure you're driving carefully if you do have to drive around it. Otherwise, I-85, we're starting to see some of those typical backups, much of the same along I-77. Of course, make sure you're taking it easy as lots of students will be crossing the crosswalks, heading back to class. Watch for that school zone speed limit as well, as it's going to start to get active for our first day of school for South Carolina.
Let's play a game when it feels like. Today feels like September 25th, the high of 80 degrees, and our low around late August. But then going forward, tomorrow and Wednesday actually feel more like early October, the 1st to the 7th. And then we're back to more of a, hey, last day of summer feel, September 21st for Thursday. So all in all, yeah, we are well below where we should be for this time of year. And to blame, the cloud cover and the rain, likely for your Tuesday and Wednesday, and then scattered after that. So expect a lot more clouds and sunshine going forward. Some days will allow to see some spots of blue, but all in all, the clouds are winning out. This is one of the wetter forecasts that we've had, and certainly one of the cooler forecasts we've had actually almost since May.
I'm sure for those kids who are a little sleepy and groggy, they're like, oh, now I got to get up with this weather.
Makes it a little harder.
Yeah, but a reminder to them, summer's over, so there you go. And the weather feels like it too. A reminder, folks, the news does not end here. Coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus, an unbelievable story after a bat flies into one woman's mouth.
What? Oh, no.
That's what it says.
Now you're awake.
Plus, Monroe Police an officer returns today after she was injured on the job. We're going to carry that celebration live. And we're talking Panthers Fans Fest. That's coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Thanks for streaming with us here at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Take a live look now at the roads where many kids in South Carolina are headed to school. We're going to get to that in just a moment. There you go. This is actually I-77 at Gold Hill Road. Right now, though, we're going to check in with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy to find out more about the first day of school forecast. Starting off a bit chilly.
Yeah, and some of us even dealing with some rain, so it's cool in the 60s with a wet feel. Yeah, not a great start. You see a little bit of pinks though off in the distance, so that's not too bad. But all in all, today is going to be an overcast to a mostly cloudy day. You could see some bright spots, but not really the case right now for our Dallas camera. By the way, if you look really closely, what's that off in the distance? That's Charlotte. So shows how far away we are, but also how far we can see from Dallas. And then our current temperature is 67 degrees right now, 64 right around Lincoln, and then 63 here in Statesville. Real quick weather stat of the morning. Last time that we had back-to-back lows in the 60s was actually June 8th and 9th. Yesterday's low 67. So far today, our low is 67 degrees. Later on this afternoon, we are anticipating a run up to 80 degrees. Many of us will be just short though, so that means we're mainly in the mid to the upper 70s for the afternoon with a slight chance for an on and off shower here and there. As far as our back to school forecast goes, check it out. We are anticipating a little bit of morning rain, which, by the way, welcome back to Fort Mill, Rock Hill, the York District 1, Clover, and Chester County schools. By the time the kids get home, likely you might have some thicker clouds. I think it's more overcast to end the day, but rain is starting to move back into frame. So I want to show you this. We're expecting an on and off shower down towards the south where we were just looking. But it's a classic cold air damming setup. So what's going to happen is around this high pressure system, and things aren't really moving too much over the next few days, winds out of the northeast actually trap all the clouds up against the mountains. Meanwhile, once you have moisture that's driving into this creates just a conveyor belt of rain. So it could lead to some flooding issues, but it also doesn't allow really too much sunshine. As long as that stationary front is down to the south and we have this high pressure system in place, yeah, we're not going to be warming up anytime soon. We're actually cooler by tomorrow as this starts to enhance. So it's all about that cooler air backed up against the mountains and that moisture drives in the colder air. Each area of the United States has what's called like a microclimate. This is one of our biggest features that we have that really makes it unique to our area. And whenever you have a setup like this, it could lead to days of rain and days of clouds. So sunshine lovers, you don't probably like this forecast. Our low excessive rain impacts for tomorrow and also for Wednesday are in place, but I am letting you know, you see this little sliver of yellow? There is a medium threshold just west of us, so I wouldn't be surprised if this does expand to a little bit more of a yellow color representing a higher risk for flooding, and you'll see why. Check it out. The rain that we see over the next 2 to 3 days has a location. It zeroes in on one spot, and that's further off towards the west. Spotty showers possible today. So at any given point, kind of like what we had on Saturday, you could have mist, drizzle, or a light rain shower. There's a better chance for more of a moderate, heavier rain getting into the evening hours, especially northwest of Charlotte. You're seeing widespread rain at this point. Some heavier showers and downpours possible heading into your Tuesday morning, so it could be a rough morning commute for some of us, especially along the I-85 corridor down into South Carolina. And around Greenville, you're really seeing a good batch of this action. By noon tomorrow, still widespread rain. There will be some breaks, especially the further east that you go, and then it shifts a little bit more on either side of the I-77 corridor with some heavier rain heading into your Wednesday. But yeah, you're looking at a range of 1 to 3 inches of rain across the area over the next few days. Meanwhile, we're taking a close look at the tropics. We have Dexter out there, so officially our 4th tropical storm of the season. No hurricanes yet. 50% chance that this could turn to Aaron. However, we have a rival. A 30% chance that there could be another tropical development right off the Carolinas. So this doesn't look to be a major system as of yet, but Tropical Storm Dexter is going to move out to sea. And then meanwhile, we're also going to have the potential for that little area right off the South Carolina coast to develop into something. But I think the biggest impact that we're going to see here is more clouds and more rain. That's also going to break up our cold air damming. That's going to allow temperatures to warm back up into the mid 80s. Starts to feel a lot more humid at that point. So enjoy the break today. Doesn't feel overly humid, which, by the way, when I was talking about sunshine lovers, I was talking about you, Majestic, because I know this isn't your jam necessarily.
No, and it's like this weekend it was so cloudy, it was so drizzly the whole time. That's what I'm used to in Seattle, not the Carolinas, but I guess I better get used to just a little bit of everything here. Here's a live look outside. If you're heading out the door, you can see this I-77 just north of Griffith. I-77, though, coming in from York County, seems to be flowing all right, but it's going to be a big day there in York County as lots of students are heading back to class. And just as a reminder, this is specifically in South Carolina school bus laws. Remember, lanes behind the bus must stop, but on the opposite lanes, you don't have to stop. It's a little bit different in North Carolina because all lanes have to stop unless there is a median or a center lane that is dividing. So keep that in mind as we are now heading back into the school year. Couple more things that I want to let you know about if you do have places to be this morning. This is one of our newer crashes. It's here on Albemarle Road and Sharon Amity Road, seeing that yellow starting to build, meaning that traffic is moving a little slower than it typically would without that ongoing wreck. And then this is also a new one. A fallen tree. Inbound lanes are currently blocked on Providence Road north at Verdon Drive. So I'm going to continue to keep a close eye on that. Again, a tree has fallen and is blocking inbound lanes right now on Providence Road. As we zoom on out, I-77 coming inbound again, coming in, say, from York County, starting to see that backup build. Nothing too out of the ordinary with that one. Much of the same on I-85 here if you're coming inbound. We'll have another check on traffic coming up here shortly, but Ben, that's what I'm watching for now.
All right, Majestic, thanks. New on WCNC Plus, CMPD has made an arrest in a deadly South Charlotte shooting. Stephen Downing Jr. is charged with first-degree murder and robbery with a dangerous weapon. The shooting happened late Saturday on South Boulevard near Archdale. That's where police found the victim, Stephen Carroll, who had been shot. Downing will be in court this morning at 10 a.m. Well, right now, students across South Carolina on the bus and returning to the classroom. Districts going back today: Rock Hill School District, York District 1, Clover, and Fort Mill. And that is where parents may notice some big safety changes this year.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning with a closer look at what you need to know. Good morning, Destiny.
Good morning. Yeah, we're here at the new Flint Hill Elementary School where drop-off is already happening this morning. Students already going in for their first day. And one of the biggest changes you'll notice at all Fort Mill schools, including this one, is that there are no more traffic guards. So traffic flow is going to be changing at some schools in the Fort Mill area. So the district announced last week that it is no longer using this third-party service to manage vehicle flow. But while there will not be any traffic guards, there will still be crossing guards at all painted crosswalks to help students to and from school. Now, there's also a new right turn only rule that's in place at only some campuses during drop-off and pickup times, and this is aimed at reducing risky left turns on busy roads in the area. Fort Mill School District says the traffic changes are all about safety and they're working on long-term solutions.
Whether that's having law enforcement direct traffic or additional traffic signal lights, those kinds of things. And actually that's been an ongoing process for over a year now. We have had an accident that involved a traffic guard in the area of Fort Mill Elementary and Middle School. So we had already been petitioning for some of these changes to take place. And again, we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, so again, it's all about patience and of course taking your time as you head to drop off your student to class this morning and of course have a happy first day. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
So Destiny, what role, if any, are police officers are going to play here in at least the first few weeks with some of these changes?
Yeah, it's going to be at some schools in Fort Mill and TGK that will have local police. So local law enforcement will be directing traffic at least for the first 2 weeks of school just to help get used to that change. And this is for schools that are particularly along busy streets. So to avoid them turning left, for example, because they would have to go across two-way traffic. That would be very dangerous. The right turn only is basically to reduce the risk of crashes. So those classes or those schools are Catawba Ridge High School, Fort Mill Elementary School, Fort Mill Middle School, River Trail Elementary School, Riverview Elementary, TGK Elementary School. So we also have more information in this story on the WCNC Charlotte News app, but no matter if you have those local law enforcement at your school or not, just pay extra attention, especially with those traffic guards no longer there.
Good advice, because it's going to take some getting used to.
And I don't know about you, but I don't remember hype music being played when I came to school. They got Celebrate Good Times, come on.
And you see the teachers with that looks like pom-poms out celebrating. I mean,
I'm
what
like,
a great
that's
first
a nice
day.
touch. That's a nice touch to come into school with that. All right, Destiny, thank you. Appreciate it. And good luck to all the students out there.
Well, students in Rock Hill are also heading back to class today. WCNC caught up with the principal of Sunset Park Elementary ahead of the first day.
Budgeting can be a challenge in terms of having enough supports in order to support students and student achievement, but we do our best that we can, and we use everyone in the way that we can to help support students so that we can ensure that we provide everything that we need to provide to our students. We're ready for parents to just join in and be partners with us so that we can ensure that our kids have a successful school year, and we want them to go out and make their mark.
Parents are partners with the teachers. Coming up at 7:30, we'll be live in Rock Hill to learn more about their busing.
And if you still have some back-to-school shopping to do, experts say you can expect to spend more than last year. Americans expected to spend nearly $40 billion this year on school items. Some families even shopping earlier to try to avoid those new tariffs. Stores also trying to help out by keeping those prices steady in some cases and offering discounts for teachers and students.
I'm definitely seeing an increase in the prices, but the 20% off at Target that I've used is really helpful for those supplies.
Some parents say they're either budgeting carefully or delaying their shopping.
7:11 now in Washington. Some experts are warning of a possible recession amid new tariffs and alarming job numbers. Taking a live look now at the White House. As NBC's Jay Gray explains, it comes as the president announces new trade agreements with several deadlines looming.
The tug of war over tariffs could reach a tipping point this week.
This is truly the dawn of the golden age of America.
President Trump's controversial strategy to reframe the U.S. and in turn global markets by imposing steep import taxes on dozens of international trading partners set to take effect Thursday.
The president will decide what the president decides, but the president likes those deals. For the deals that aren't ready yet, they're going to get the reciprocal rates soon, and then we would expect that there might continue to be negotiations with those countries.
Some economists warning the higher tariffs could hit consumers.
Prices are high, and they're going to continue to be high,
with the possibility of slowing the economy, leading to inflation and leaving American businesses to pay the tab.
Businesses are having to take a cut to their margins and eat some of this right now, simply because consumers are really just not standing for it.
Especially concerning on the heels of a weak jobs report. The president, without sharing any evidence or data, calling the report rigged and firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3 or 4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced.
But the former BLS chair appointed by Mr. Trump during his first term says
the commissioner doesn't do anything to collect the numbers. By the time the commissioner sees the numbers, they're all prepared, they're locked in.
Calling the accusations groundless and the firing damaging. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Trending this morning, people remembering popular 80s actress Lonnie Anderson. The groundbreaking Emmy and Golden Globe nominated actress died over the weekend, just days before her 80th birthday. She rose to fame playing a struggling radio station's receptionist, Jennifer Marlowe, in WKRP in Cincinnati. The role earned her 2 Emmy Awards and 3 Golden Globe nominations. She will be forever linked with the man that she would marry, the legendary Burt Reynolds. The two starred in the 1983 film Stroker Ace. Anderson's publicist announced her passing on Sunday following a prolonged illness. This morning, more Americans are waking up to flood damage after deadly flash flooding hit over the weekend.
This time in Alabama, where dangerous downpours led to one person being killed while their car was swept away. NBC's Maggie Vespa reports.
Heavy downpours in the south turning deadly in at least one state. Officials in Alabama say one person died after the car they were in washed off a roadway. Some areas across that state, as well as Georgia and Florida, bracing for up to half a foot of rain or more. The Gifford fire in Central California now at roughly 40,000 acres and only 5% contained. 3 people have reportedly been injured, ranchers scrambling to save their cattle, but fast-moving flames overtook some.
It smoked us completely, as you can see. It's brutal.
Evacuation orders issued and states of emergency declared from California to Utah to Arizona, but it's Canada's wildfires that are blanketing the eastern half of the U.S. with smoke. On social media, videos showing hazy skies.
So all of these areas that used to be, safe are no longer safe.
Minnesota's air quality alert lasting a week, its longest in history. In Chicago, Cubs fans and Lollapalooza attendees are braving the outdoors days after the city clocked the worst air quality in the world, with experts calling it officially dangerous.
Why? Why do we continuously have to deal with this?
This week has just been hazy, a lot of haze.
This summer of severe weather sparing no corner of the country. New Jersey and New York even rattled by a magnitude 3.0 earthquake Saturday.
NBC's Maggie Vespa with that report. Very concerning when you see that. And then we're dealing with cooler temperatures and some rain.
Hasn't been boring, to say the least.
I tell you
Not
what.
at all.
Yeah,
I mean, Mother Nature has been all over the place.
Yeah, she's angry, clearly. Because,
not happy with us.
Yeah, and it's all over the place. That there's also historic heat now happening in the Southwest. So they're baking up to like 114 plus. We just hit multiple days of 90, and then all of a sudden we can't just go back to normal. No, we have to drop down into the 70s, making it feel more like early October. What's going on? Our flood watch, though, down towards the south, there's still a concern for more life-threatening flooding on the Georgia-Alabama border down to the Florida Panhandle. And this flood watch could progress its way slowly off towards the east over the coming days, just because where the axis of all this rain is headed. So here's what we're looking at over the near term. This stationary front down towards the south. Stationary fronts, by the way, are the biggest culprit for flooding events. Most of the area that we have seen multiple flash flood warnings from Texas all the way up to New York has had a nearby stationary front that's attributed to this. So as long as this is down towards the south and a high pressure system to the north, we're going to have what's called cold air damming. This could be just a constant compression of rain. And I don't like seeing days of rain like what we're seeing off towards the west. So we're really saturating the soils over in western Carolina. And right now, just a low chance for flooding from our excessive rain impacts there for Tuesday, a low end on Wednesday. But I truly think that this could be expanded to more of a medium threshold for at least the western half of our area for your Tuesday heading into Wednesday as well, just because of purely the amount of rain that could fall. On the lower end from our models, we're calling anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next 5 days. But some models are actually indicating a lot more in a shorter time period. Check this one out. This is keeping a lot of rain up to about 1.5 inches through noon tomorrow for western North Carolina. But then these values could jump as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain by Wednesday night. So this is a lot of rain all at once in a very short time frame. 3.5 inches still can keep the soils pretty saturated, but then more rain on top of this, especially if we head into the weekend, if we have a leftover tropical system, could be a big time flooding concern. So it's something that definitely wants to pique our interest. It's something that we want to watch a little bit closer. Rain chances today, I think it's very spotty on and off light rain showers. I think most of the rain arrives later on this evening, first starting off towards the west. Some areas will just see some light rain showers. Others will start to see more of a moderate tick up of rain, even a few of those embedded heavier rain showers. If you see rain today, don't expect any thunderstorms. Tomorrow we will see the thunderstorm chance return, but it's mainly going to be just rain. Keeping also that rain northwest of Charlotte, but I think Charlotte's going to have its fair share by tomorrow morning right along the I-77 corridor. We'll hit another break heading into Tuesday evening before yet again more scattered showers and thunderstorms become widespread Wednesday morning heading into the afternoon. So we see this continual pattern. And also with the amount of moisture that's returning, we also have to watch down to the southeast. So as I just showed you, our rainfall chances are increasing and really spiking for the week by Tuesday and Wednesday, but that could change. If this turns into a low pressure system that moves onshore, which looks like to be a good possibility by the weekend, may it have a name or not, you're still going to inject more precipitable water rates that are on the upper threshold. That means a better flooding potential, taking over for the Carolinas and also not looking like the best beach days heading into Friday and Saturday. keep that in mind. As for our weekly superlatives, I'll have that at the top of the next half hour here in WCNC Plus. Let's get over to Majestic, though, in the short term, see what's going on in the traffic world.
All right, good morning, everyone. Want to walk you through a few things because we actually have a handful of accidents that are currently active right now. Let's take you out to Independence first because that's where we are seeing some slowdowns here. It's on Independence at Coliseum Drive. That's where that wreck is, and that orange here is indicating that cars are moving rather slowly. Then off to the east of it, another crash here. This time it's on Albemarle Road at Sharon Amity Road. And then this here is a fallen tree, meaning that inbound lanes are actually currently blocked because of this. It's on Providence Road North at Vernon Drive. So that's what's going on there. I actually have a picture of that just came in. You can see this tree that's actually fallen down and it's impacting a lot of people's morning commute. You can see it's just right in the middle of that. That's on Providence. Inbound lanes, again, being blocked because of that. And then finally, I want to let you know about this. This is another ongoing active crash. This time it's out here just west of it. It's at Sharon Road and Runnymede Lane. Otherwise, big picture perspective as we zoom it on now. Those are the 4 active things that I'm watching very carefully for you. And then I-77 coming in from York County, seeing our typical backups here and there, but nothing significant. Much of the same along I-85 here. That's what I'm watching for now. We'll have another look at my area roadways and the maps all coming up here in just a few minutes. Larry.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. It's Monday trivia time, and today's trivia could raise some eyebrows, and it's all about Mona Lisa. Where is she looking? Who's she looking at? Here are the facts on Mona Lisa, and very interesting. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. One more time, we'll take a look at the big picture of Mona Lisa, and here's the way she looks, and then we'll kind of zoom in and show you, yes, it's a fact. Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. That's today's trivia. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
Poor Mona. Don't make fun of her. Well, first we want to warn you if you're about to eat breakfast. This might be a little gross, but it's interesting. I'll give it that. It's interesting.
At least put your coffee down for this one. All right, listen up. A bat flew into a woman's mouth in Arizona. And if that wasn't bad enough, the medical bill that she got, even scarier. Chase Golightly has the story.
I screamed the loudest I've ever screamed.
It's a day Erica Kahn will never forget.
Both very gross and startling.
Kahn lives in Massachusetts, but last year she traveled to Arizona with her dad to explore and take some photos.
We love to go to national parks and see, those beautiful landscapes. And we're also interested in astrophotography.
They went to Horseshoe Bend to take some pictures at night when she noticed something flying right above her.
And we kind of heard and saw some bats flying around. I never would have thought that one would fly into my face.
She was in the middle of taking a picture of the sky when she says a bat flew right into her face and got stuck between her mouth and the camera. Her natural reaction was to scream.
And it went into my mouth.
Making her scream even more.
It was a freak accident. I'm not sure what part of the bat was there, but there was definitely I got a taste of it, which was pretty gross. And it tastes a little earthy, a little sweet, if you're wondering.
She spat the bat out and it flew away. Kahn says she wasn't bitten, but her dad, who was a doctor, told her she needed to go to the hospital right away to get a rabies shot. The problem is Kahn says she didn't have health insurance, saying she lost her job a couple months before the incident and didn't want to pay for the federal COBRA plan. Knowing the shots were going to be expensive, she quickly signed up and was told she would be covered, but that wasn't the case.
I was traveling, so I went to 4 different hospitals over the course of my 4 rabies shots. So now I have my close to $21,000 bill.
A decision Kahn wishes she made sooner.
I took a gamble and I'm really, kicking myself now, and I've learned I'll never do that again. But COBRA's expensive, but it's more expensive to get these, $20,000 bills when a bat flies into your mouth.
All from an accident she never thought in a million years would happen.
Now I'll know to be careful and not to open my mouth, and maybe I'll wear a mask or something as a precaution in the future.
Yeah, I mean, what's the takeaway from that?
I really hope that this kind of works out for her. The woman had a bat in her mouth.
And she went to the doctor, which you'd think you would do. I mean,
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
she did everything you would want to do, but I guess, goodness.
Oof, I'll take her word too. Earthly and sweet.
Sweet, yeah.
I'll
She
take
went
her
into more
word for
detail
that.
than I expected about the actual taste of the bat, but that's okay. All right, 7:24 right now. Live pictures right now over uptown on this Monday morning, August the 4th. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. More news, weather, and traffic up next.
Well, good morning. We have some light rain developing down towards the south. So if you're watching from South Carolina, likely you've at least had some drizzle so far this morning. On and off showers are still going to be possible today, but a better chance for rain really as we head into the latter part of the afternoon, evening. Similar timing to the rain yesterday if you got any. But then once you get to about the mid to late evening, this rain becomes widespread and will be really persistent and consistent west of I-77 tonight, heading into tomorrow morning, where the further east you go, less likely to see rain. But then we start to see those thunderstorms join us by tomorrow as well. So today, overall, most of the day is dry. It's an overcast to a mostly cloudy day. High temperatures in the upper 70s to just around that 90-degree point. 7-day forecast shows another dip in the temperatures, though. We have the 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, back to the mid-80s this weekend. Majestic, what's going on this morning?
All right, good Monday morning, everyone. Good morning to all of the kiddos who are getting ready to head off to the very first day of school out there in York County. This is I-77 at Gold Hill, right out of York County. You can see traffic is flowing just fine. I have noticed a little bit more congestion start to pick up as we're now back to school for some of us. Do want to let you know about this problem. It's a fallen tree. It's impacting inbound lanes because they're currently blocked on Providence Road north at Vernon Drive. You can see that purple there. So again, this is a picture of what's going down. It's blocking both those inbound lanes on Providence Road. We'll have more on WCNC Plus.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Happy Monday, everybody. Right now, a lot of students at Rock Hill are on the bus headed to school. And this year, that bus ride will be a little easier because the Rock Hill School District is fully staffed when it comes to bus drivers.
WCNC Charlotte's Bria Smith is live this morning outside of Sunset Park Center. And Bria, this is a big win for this district. Not a lot of districts can say that their busing staff is full.
That's exactly right. Good morning to you all. Well, this is something that school district leaders are hopeful will contribute to a successful and impactful school year ahead, since they won't have to worry about last-minute bus drivers. Now, each day, 719 routes are run across the district, making the goal to hire more bus drivers top of the list this school year. School district transportation leaders say this year every full-time seat is filled, relieving the individual responsibility of each driver who contributes to the nearly 12,000 miles each day. Assistant Director of Transportation saying they had to be strategic with their search for new drivers.
Well, we had to start early, and we had to ask our district to make sure pay was involved. We had to increase the initial entry rate, if I say it correctly. And then we put it out on the social media, all the internet we can use to make sure everyone will come and show up.
Now, I promise there were some more buses here earlier today, and there is proof. There are 41 new buses, 35 propane and 6 new transit buses added to the district's fleet to help with this effort. For now, reporting live in Rock Hill, Bria Smith, WCNC Charlotte. Back to you guys.
I know it doesn't just stop at bus drivers. I know, speaking to the folks in Rock Hill, I think teacher-wise, they're 98% full at this point. So it's a starting off the school year strong. Bria, do you have any idea when school starts there at the school you're at?
I'm not exactly sure the time. I'm pretty sure that there are some buses in, but I can get back to you on that. But there already have been some parents and some students just filing in here. So I'm thinking maybe around 8 a.m. is when school will get kick-started.
All right.
I see some waiting at the door there. How exciting. All right, Bria Smith, thanks so much for that live report.
And don't forget, we are partnering with United Way for our own back-to-school supply drive, so you can help students who begin the school year without the necessary supplies. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to our website, WCNC.com/community. You can donate up until August 11th. 7:33 right now. Turning back to your forecast on this first day of school for South Carolina students.
Welcome back to school. Not the prettiest start, so maybe you're not motivated extra, especially after the summer break and what we just been through. But as I teased, I want to get to our weekly superlatives. So this is a way that we pretty much treat the 7-day as a yearbook and award different titles such as the cloudiest, which is going to be tomorrow, and the coolest is going to be tomorrow, and the wettest is tomorrow. So look at the triple superlatives for your Tuesday, and then the warmest doesn't look to be until Sunday. So we're really going to be heading into an interesting pattern. I want to show you this. Tomorrow's bus stop forecast. We have rain in the morning and then rain in the afternoon for York and Chester County. And the further west you go, the more rain that we're going to see all in all over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, back to school forecast for today. You have some rain in the morning and then just, I think, an overcast to a mostly cloudy sky when the kids are getting home. Temperatures in the mid 70s. Some of us only in the mid to the upper 70s. 80 is the hottest temperature I think that you see around the Charlotte area. Current temperatures right now, 67 degrees in Charlotte, 65 degrees around Monroe. We're living our morning lows, which, by the way, this morning's low so far is 67. Yesterday was 67. The last time we even had back-to-back lows in any point of the 60s was June 8th and 9th, so nearly 2 months ago, something that we haven't done in quite some time. Here's your high temperatures, as I mentioned, mid to the upper 70s. Even if we hit 80 degrees, most of the day will be at about the 76 to 79 range during the afternoon, which, by the way, does not feel like this time of the year, not August-like whatsoever. Now, 67 is like late August, but a high of 80 degrees is more like September 25th, but we can bring that a step further. The high I have on Tuesday, 76, that's more like October 7th, and the 78, more like October 1st. So when does it feel like? Not August over the next few days, and then by the weekend it's a little bit close to more like late August. Our satellite and radar showing a little bit of rain. Now this is anywhere from a light rain to a drizzle across Chester County and York County. So coincidentally, we're seeing the most rain for the two counties that are going back to school today, which is never great for those bus stop goers. But this rain eventually is going to push its way further off towards the north. So it depends where you are. Again, the further west you go, more rain that we're going to see. But this is the classic setup that provides the most rain and cloudy days for us per usual. It's called cold air damming. It's a high pressure system in the north, drags in winds out of the northeast, and then meanwhile a stationary system or a slow moving front can jet moisture in from the southwest. Those two wind directions and the moisture content coming from the south combine for periods of rain, sometimes multiple hours, multiple days if this sticks in place. And it's really not until the late week into the weekend that we break this pattern, meaning all in all, this is going to be one cloudy week and one wet one. And the flooding concern isn't great going forward. I think it's really going to be the Western Carolinas that could be upgraded to a flood watch a little bit later on overall. So here's what you can expect for the long range temperature wise. Eventually, we're going to be back to the mid 80s per our 7-day forecast. And then eventually, we're also going to see the rain chances take a step back as well. So Tuesday, Wednesday, best chances for rain in the near term. For your Thursday, for the Charlotte FC match, it's actually a chance for some thunderstorms, where most of the days we're just anticipating rain, not really a big thunderstorm event over the next 7 days. And by the weekend, mainly looking at overcast and mostly cloudy skies. So even though that cold air damping is breaking up and we're getting a little bit warmer, we have a second system that could mess things up for us, especially if we had any beach plans heading into the weekend. We could potentially have a tropical system off the Carolinas to end the week. More on that for your tropical update, and also an update on storm number 4 that officially formed last night. But first, we have to be informed with our morning traffic report. Hopefully nothing too batty.
No, I don't think so. We are looking at I-77 here, coming in from York County. Good morning to everyone waking up and joining us from South Carolina. We do have a handful of smaller ongoing wrecks that I'll let you know about, but nothing that's really slowing a ton of people down at this point. You can see my map. I told you it's busy now that we're past 7:30. Still following this at Fallen Tree. It's now blocking inbound lanes on Providence Road north at Vernon Drive. You can see that purple there. It's just a small section right there, but that's where the road is going to be blocked off. Again, this is a picture of that tree that is now in the middle of the road, again blocking those inbound lanes on Providence Road. Kind of slow you down a couple of minutes, but again, it's just a short part of Providence that is currently blocked. In addition to that, following this is on Independence, seeing those slowdowns here. It's a crash on Independence at Coliseum Drive. Just off to the east of it, another crash on Albemarle Road at Sharon Amity Road, slowing people down. We're now seeing that traffic that's moving slowly. Another picture coming in to us. You can see this is a crash on Sharon Road at Runnymede Lane. You can see just 2 cars impacted here. Could be blocking one of those lanes, but it seems like cars are getting around that just fine. I'll keep you up to date with that. And then I-77, I'm noticing more red. Seems like more people are just heading in the same direction. Again, mainly from York County heading inbound. This is what we typically see this time of the day. So no accidents, just some slowdowns. And then finally, one more lane. It's blocked because of an incident. It's on Old Plank Road at Caldwell Williams Road. Once we zoom out to I-85, those backups are ongoing. Again, no accidents, just more people heading towards Uptown. And if you're coming in from I-77 from Huntersville or Cornelius, seems to be flowing just fine. We'll have another check on everything that's going on. It's a busy start to our Monday morning, all coming up here shortly. Ben.
Majestic, thanks. 7:38 right now on WCNC Plus in Statesville. Questions remain this morning after a chain of events left 2 people dead, including the suspect.
WCNC's Anna King has the latest on this case and the shock from the community.
Yeah, police here are still trying to piece together what led up to the violence. It all started Saturday afternoon and ended hours later after officials say the suspect took his own life. Saturday afternoon, officers got a call. Shots fired in a 1000 block of 5th Street.
Sad, someone died. Apparently she was young.
When officials got there, they found 51-year-old Saturnia Burton outside a home, shot multiple times. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. Investigators quickly identified the suspect as 26-year-old Tition Brashawn Burton, someone neighbors say the victim knew.
She was trying to help him. A lot of people try to help him.
Just a few hours later, officers found him out of business in Oakland Avenue. And when they tried to arrest him, he ran. The foot chase ended behind a home on Broome Street, where police say Burton took his own life. Neighbors who didn't want to go on camera say this level of violence feels unfamiliar for the community.
This kind of stuff happening in major cities, but shocking around here. Around here, yeah. Shocking. In Chicago, or I heard about it in other places, but it's kind of shocking for.
Now, police are working to understand the relationship between the two and what led up to the shooting. And the Statesville Police Department is still investigating tonight and asked that anyone with information come forward. In Statesville, Anna King, WCNC Charlotte.
A crime alert this morning out of Richmond County, where authorities are investigating a deadly shooting. Take a look at your screen. It happened on Easterling Avenue in Ellerbe early yesterday morning. Deputies say someone found a body near their home. No word yet on any suspects. If you have any information, call Richmond County Police. And Matthews police are looking for a missing teenager this morning. Michaela Harlan was last seen on Gladewater Drive. She's 5'2" with curly brown reddish hair. Harlan was last seen wearing biker shorts and a t-shirt. If you see her, call 911.
In about an hour, Monroe police will honor an officer injured in the line of duty who's returning to work this morning. Take a look at this. This is what her car looked like after a suspect shot into that car. You can see it riddled with bullets right here. This was during a violent crime spree that left 2 other people dead. She was in the hospital for 2 days before being released. Monroe police say the community invited to help welcome her back this morning, happening in about an hour, 8:30 at Monroe Police Department in the parking lot. We'll show you the ceremony live when it starts later. Motorcyclists hit the road this weekend for a powerful tribute, honoring a local girl whose tragic death brought national attention to child safety. 20 years ago, Jessica Lunsford was just 9 years old when a registered sex offender kidnapped her from her home in Gastonia and killed her in Florida. Lunsford's father says Legacy Ride is a powerful reminder of how child safety and advocacy can never take a back seat.
It's important that we get together and we all have conversations, because even small groups or big groups, conversation is awareness. Awareness is education, and education is power. And that's how we gain the power to change things.
Her death led to the creation of Jessica's Law, which toughens penalties for child sex offenders. Proceeds from this weekend's ride will benefit the group Guardians of Children, a nonprofit that supports and advocates for abused kids.
Well, happening right now, South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace is getting ready to announce her run for governor. This is happening at the Citadel in Charleston. Let's listen in. Her announcement comes just days after Congressman Ralph Norman also announced his plans to run in the South Carolina Republican primary.
For a couple years, and then Madison Reed is here today from Georgia. We were sitting at the Italian restaurant on Daniel Island, and she looked at us and she said, "I'm ready to run for Congress." I said, "Well, okay, let's start raising some money." So next thing you know, we were at Hall's event space raising money, and now our Congresswoman is in her 3rd term. So today is all about making history. And so we need to start out with the pledge, because we got to remember God and country. Some will bring up our former town council member from Mount Pleasant, Kevin Cunane.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, I'm also the preacher this morning. Can I hear an amen?
Obviously, that feed is taking some hits. Worth noting, though, just about 10 minutes ago, Nancy Mace tweeted, "I'm running to be the governor of South Carolina." Not exactly a well-kept secret, but right. Making it official that, yes, she is.
And initially, she was having an announcement later today around 4 o'clock, so we don't know if that is still happening, but we'll continue to watch that feed and give you updates, of course, as we get there. But I'm pretty sure it's safe to say.
There you go. She's running. There you go.
Well, as the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene approaches, North Carolina lawmakers continue to hear from frustrated constituents who say help to rebuild isn't coming fast enough.
Laura Leslie has more on the efforts to restore Western North Carolina.
Lawmakers are frustrated that even though it's been 10 months since Helene and they've appropriated hundreds of millions of dollars in relief, the state has not yet rebuilt a single home. Senator Tim Moffitt lives in one of the hardest hit areas.
Our constituents are looking to us for answers.
and they're looking to us for solutions because that's where we live. We've done all that we can do, and it seems like the money just gets caught up in these systems.
The state relief package says home rebuilding has to be reimbursable by federal funds. Recovery Chief Matt Calabria says those are notoriously slow to arrive.
It is virtually unheard of for a CDBG-DR funded program for home rebuilding and reconstruction to have started within 1 year, but that's still our goal.
Calabria said state money is being used for pre-planning and site assessments, but he also said FEMA is supplying far less money than it has for other states facing similar storms, and it's aggressively denying many requests. Representative Mark Pless said his constituents can't afford to wait any longer.
This is for the lower income folks, the middle income folks that have no other options except us. And we promised them that we were going to help them in this storm. The governor's office has promised them that they're going to help them in this storm. And so far that hasn't happened.
What do you say to people in Western North Carolina who are just waiting for somebody to come rebuild their house?
We share people's frustration. We know that this is hard and that these regulatory processes, particularly at the federal level, are really difficult. And so we have done everything that we can to push.
That was Laura Leslie with that report. In South Carolina, a major boost in disaster relief is finally on the way. More than 10 months after Helene, the federal government just approved a $150 million plan to help with disaster recovery. However, state officials say they still need more than $2 billion to fully recover. Much of that is just for housing.
Good news, as no damage reported after a 3.0 earthquake shook parts of New Jersey and New York Saturday night.
New Jersey residents were reminded of last year's 4.8 magnitude earthquake that struck in April. Jessica Cunnington has more.
I was just about falling asleep and I hear bang and my windows rattled. And of course I jump up, I go, what the was that?
That was Maura Kelly's Saturday night.
5 minutes later, my phone rang.
Turns out her neighbors felt it too.
I'm talking to town, but that one last night, that was scary.
Along with many people in Hasbrook Heights.
And I was kind of like dozing, and all of a sudden I heard a big boom. I thought it was an accident. Then I jumped up, I went in the living room. My husband said he got jolted off the lounge chair.
It was a magnitude 3.0 earthquake, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, at 10:18 p.m. Saturday night, centered around Hasbrook Heights, but felt across New York City and Westchester County.
I never thought I would have something like that here.
Now it's the most recent earthquake in New Jersey after a series of small quakes were recorded late last month near Randolph. None of them as strong as last year's earthquake in April, felt across the Northeast. That one centered in Tewksbury, New Jersey, magnitude 4.8.
But the one last year in April, I was in the kitchen and I was holding on the island and the lights were shaking, but it was so different last night. They're more often, you know, it's scary. It was scary.
No immediate reports of damage after Saturday night's earthquake, but it's another one to talk about. Officials also warned of possible aftershocks.
Even when we've had really bad storms, I've never heard my windows rattle like that.
Well, good morning, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about earthquakes, and then we're going to get to your tropical update. So a 3, by the way, is minor, where oftentimes they could be felt, but there's little to no damage. And about 100,000 of these happen every single year. It's about the equivalency of 1,000 pounds of explosive. Not saying that that's minor by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not as rare as you think. Wichita, Kansas actually just had one over the last 24 hours. And there was also one right off of the California coast in the northern part of the California, just west of the Big Sur Highway. Now, our tropical storm Dexter officially formed at 11 o'clock. Dexter is not going to be an issue whatsoever, much better than the previous D name that Dexter replaced. So Dexter replaced Dorian, and that was the 2019 name list that's being recycled for this year, where Dorian was stationary, became an epic Category 5. So yeah, Dexter luckily not making the history books. Instead, it turns into a fish storm, meaning it's just going to be dancing with the fishies in the northern part of the Atlantic. 50-mile-per-hour winds expected, so this is still going to remain a tropical storm for the next several days. days getting up to Friday. This will be the longest lasting one that we've had so far. But meanwhile, there's two other areas of tropical development. There's number one for this little wave that's barely done anything. It's just off of the African coast, saying that really by days 4 to 7, we're going to have a chance for this to develop into something. Same type of trend, though. It swings back out in the Atlantic, but there's one a little bit closer to home. This little area of yellow by the weekend could develop into a low pressure system. This doesn't look to be anything major, but we oftentimes will see a low that churns just long enough, and before it moves into the Carolinas, it could be a low and either tropical depression or a tropical storm. The next names on the list, since we do have two waves to investigate, is Erin and Fernan. So that's Fernan, that's the correct pronunciation. And then there's also Umberto, so some people might mispronounce that. But here's the list going forward. We've already had 4 storms, which is actually pretty much on par to where we should be for this time of the season. Dexter moved back out into the Atlantic. Check it out. You can see those tight rings. That's what we're always looking for some of these long-range impacts. But this little area is what we're picking up on Friday, is where I think we're going to have the low off the Carolinas before it starts to move inward and makes an eventual landfall. And then it's right down here we're going to see if there's going to be any sort of wave. That would be that second area investigation. Honestly, I think it has a better chance for some more strengthening and development really after day 7 for the long range, and nothing else really popping up in the near term. So here's a closer look what the rain could be like on Friday. It's not good. Long range models, by the way, are very chunky. They don't really show a lot of details, but we can see generally where we're seeing more rain. Still not a great situation if you have like a Friday or Saturday beach trip, because it looks like widespread rain and showers. Depending what this low pressure system does afterwards, if it stalls out again, we're dealing with more cold air damming and some cooler temperatures, or at least some heavy rain. So a lot of question marks, at least in the near term. Meanwhile, for the short-term forecast, we're actually feeling okay. Yesterday, we dropped down to that dry, comfy range. As far as our dew points, felt amazing, actually. Even though it was mainly an overcast and mostly cloudy day, today's very similar. Similar highs, just a little bit warmer, similar real feel to the day. And then once you get past today and tomorrow, we're actually heading into more of a humid environment. That's going to up our rain chances, 60 to 70% chance for rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, really holding true to at least a scattered chance for rain over the next 7 to 8 days. Let's head over to Majestic to see how things are looking on this okay morning so far.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we're off to our Monday morning commute, and we do have a handful of accidents to let you know about this morning. I-77, this is just north of Griffith, out towards beautiful Lake Norman there. Not seeing any big problems, but look at my map. We still have a lot to talk about this morning. Let's get to this because this is still ongoing. You see this purple right here? That's indicating that a road is currently blocked, and it's blocked inbound lanes because a tree has fallen. That's on Providence Road North at Vernon Drive. So we're seeing that blocked road right there. It's just a short portion of Providence Road. But again, there's a picture of it. That's a pretty big tree that's in those inbound lanes right there. Again, it seems like cars are just kind of moving around, trying to turn around and get out of that area. We'll give you another update on that as we continue to learn more about why the tree fell and what they're continuing to do about it when they're going to clear it as well. You can see Independence Boulevard right here, an accident here on Coliseum Drive, just off to the east. Another one here. It's on Albemarle Road at Sharon Amity Road. Both of those accidents are slowing down traffic, but it's not stop and go. We're starting to see some stop and go traffic along I-77 inbound. No accidents there, just more people all heading in the same direction. Nothing that we're not used to this time of the day. And then here, a lane is blocked because of an incident. It's on Old Plank Road at Caldwell Williams Road. Still seeing mainly green around it, so not too concerned as cars are still moving just fine. Those backups are definitely building along I-85 inbound as more people are heading out the door. And then this is a new one. It's a crash on Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Make sure you're mindful of that, seeing some yellow there. That's what I'm watching for now. We'll have another check on our traffic all coming up here in just a few. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks so much. 7:54 now. North Carolina state leaders want you to weigh in on the coolest item made in the state.
That's a long list. The North Carolina Chamber is running an annual contest to spotlight the state's manufacturing industry. Nominations now open. This year, the state will recognize 3 winners.
We spoke to Gary Salamido on WCNC Plus right here. He's the president and CEO of the North Carolina Chamber. He says the annual contest provides a big opportunity to both businesses and workers across the state.
And we get to identify opportunities for our young people, our veterans, our adult learners to have great careers in manufacturing. So it's a celebration of a really important industry to our state.
Voting is underway now. You can cast yours by heading to coolestthingmadeInNC.com. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but make sure you stay right here with us on WCNC Plus. We'll be back with an update on weather and traffic, as well as the day's top headlines at the top of the hour.
Being honest, it's not the prettiest day, but at least it feels great. It's 69 degrees right now around Charlotte, seeing some light rain and cloudy skies over Rock Hill as kids are heading back to school, 66 around Hickory. And we'll have a slight real feel that's a little elevated. 81's the actual heat index, but the real temperature is about 79 by 6 p.m. And then those rainfall chances are increasing over the next couple of days, especially for your Tuesday and Wednesday. For the near term, I think you could see rain as early as about 2 to 4 o'clock, especially southwest of Charlotte. And then this rain starts to fill in the gaps, especially the further west you go, right along the 321 corridor and areas west, seeing widespread rain starting this evening, continuing through the overnight. And then we'll actually have some heavier rain showers heading into your Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon. That is the coolest day and the cloudiest one. After that, either side of 80 degrees, mid 80s coming up by this weekend, but keeping daily rain chances. Majestic, what do we need to know about your morning commute?
Well, we don't have any significant slowdowns as you're heading out the door, but I surely have a handful of smaller ongoing wrecks for that Monday morning commute. Here's a live look outside. You can still see area roadways are dry. Definitely a lot of cloud coverage out there. Little peaks of sunshine here and there. One thing to let you know about, though, is that we're following this. The inbound lanes on Providence Road North at Vernon Drive, it's blocked because a big tree has fallen. Here's a live look of that tree that's in the middle of the road. They're trying to clear it, but at this point, both lanes inbound are currently blocked because of it. In addition to that, you can see at Independence, there is a crash there at Coliseum Drive.
streaming live right now at 8 a.m. here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Right now, we need to check in with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy to find out more about our forecast. Chris, you said it's feeling more like October than August?
Yeah, it's feeling more like late September today. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we actually feel more like the first week of October. What's going on? All of a sudden, July was the second August. Where am I trying to combine August and hottest? But anyways, let's rewind real quick. July was the second hottest, but then meanwhile for this August, there we go, we have temperatures that are actually feeling a month or two off. 69 degrees right around Charlotte, 63 degrees right around Statesville, 62 in Salisbury, and then 57 up in Boone. Active train right here in Monroe. Good morning to that. We dropped down to 67 degrees this morning, and that was the same thing yesterday as well. Last time we had back-to-back lows in the 60s, June 8th and June 9th. Last time we did that here in Charlotte, but get used to a lot more of those 60-degree lows and certainly those cooler highs. We should be around 90. We're not doing that. We're about 10 to 15 degrees colder over the coming days because of this cold air damming that's stuck against the mountains. That'll range us anywhere from about 76 to 80 degrees for today. Some areas to the southeast I think could reach about 82. But as I mentioned, it doesn't feel like this time of year. 80 degrees is actually the exact climatological high for September 25th. So that would be some of the first few days of the fall season. August 28th is where we typically have lows in that range of about 67. But then tomorrow, as I mentioned, it was the same thing on Wednesday. Mid to the upper 70s are more indicative of early October. And then, Thursday, this is much better. 81 is actually what you usually have for the last day of fall. Still unusual. I'm not complaining by any means, but some kids might be realizing that their summer is fleeting. Now, of course, that was kind of a mean trick if you are anyone from York or Chester County, seeing the scatter rain already starting off their first day of school. And that rain will continue to spread its way off towards the north. And plain and simple, today you're going to have a chance for some drizzle and some light rain on and off throughout the day, just as you had on Saturday, and it's what we had late day yesterday. Late day yesterday is kind of similar to what we're going to have today. It feels the same. And yesterday it was also a tragic flooding over in Alabama, and that's why we have a continued flood watch for the eastern side of Alabama, the western side, and the majority of Georgia, and also parts of the Panhandle, just because of how much rain they've already seen and what's going on. The reason why they've seen the most is right along this trough, the stationary front, jetting more and more rain. Coming up, I'm going to be breaking down your future cast hour by hour, and I'm also going to have another look at the tropics because, believe it or not, they're actually interconnected for the back end of that forecast of the 7-day as well. Let's go over to Majestic and see what's going on for your morning commute.
All right, good morning, everyone. Here's a live look outside. This is I-85 as cars are moving just fine for your morning commute. Not seeing any significant slowdown, so hopefully we can keep it that way for that morning time commute. Even though that looks to be flowing just fine, we do have several ongoing smaller wrecks. You can see it here on my map here. Want to get to this first one here because we have a blocked road. It's indicated in purple here. A tree has fallen down, now blocking inbound lanes. That's on Providence Road North at Vernon Drive. You can see it's only a couple of blocks where it's actually blocked. Otherwise, traffic is able to get around it, but this is actually a picture of it. They're starting to clear that tree there, so it shouldn't last for much longer. But again, if you typically drive that way, that's what's going on there. Otherwise, let's take you out to Independence. We do have a couple of accidents. This one here is on Independence Boulevard at Coliseum Drive. We're seeing some of that orange here, indicating that cars are moving just very slowly at this point. Another crash here, it's on Albemarle Road at Sharon Amity Road. We're seeing still mainly green, so it doesn't seem to be causing too many delays this morning. I-77, those backups are on as people are heading inbound. Again, moving in maybe from York County, heading up towards the uptown area. We're used to this time of the day. It's 8:04 right now if you are getting ready to head out. And then another lane is actually blocked because of an incident. It's on Old Plank Road at Caldwell Williams Road. I'm still seeing mainly green here, so it seems like maybe that car's off to the side. Traffic's still able to move through it just fine. I-85, those backups are starting to build as well out towards Lowell and Belmont, Gastonia. And then this one that we talked about just a little while ago on Mount Holly, Huntersville Road, it has since cleared, so not a big issue any longer. We'll have another check on those area roadways coming up in just a couple of minutes. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks so much. Right now, students across South Carolina are returning to the classroom. That includes students in Fort Mill, where parents may notice some big safety changes this year.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards now live this morning with a closer look at what you need to know. All right, Destiny, fill us in.
Yeah, so we're here at the new Flint Hill Elementary School. Like many schools around the Fort Mill area this morning, drop-off has come and gone. Parents lining up to take their kids for their first day of school. And one of the biggest changes is no traffic guards this morning, and the same will be true this afternoon. We're here with Joe Burke, who is the Chief Communications Officer for Fort Mill School District. Tell us a little bit about this change. This was something that was not, planned well ahead in advance.
Sure, yeah. We were notified by the company that used to provide our traffic guards for to help with the flow of traffic. They would not be able to provide those guards this year. So immediately we started working with our local municipalities and law enforcement, state organizations to try to come up with solutions. We're still working on long-term solutions, but we did recently implement some short-term solutions in right turn only out of certain schools that are dealing with heavy traffic patterns. And as well, over the weekend, we were able to work out with our local law enforcement to get some officers at those schools to help direct traffic this morning for the next couple of weeks as a temporary solution.
Yeah, and it's been a smooth morning.
Yes, actually it's gone pretty well here at Flint Hill Elementary. It went pretty good for a brand new school that never had anybody drop off. They finished finished drop off in just a couple of minutes from the bell, so that's actually great for a first day of school.
All right, very awesome. And this is something that is going to be in effect, the local police helping with traffic just for 2 weeks, but this no traffic guards is going to be all year long.
Yeah, that'll be something we're going to deal with long term. And like I said, we're looking at multiple solutions, anything we can get put in place to help with this issue.
All right, and any message just for not just families, but the whole community about just being safe on these roads?
Yeah, in general, we ask everybody in the community, if you're traveling in an area where school's at, or even if you're driving in a neighborhood or any other area, there could always be students waiting for a bus or pedestrians in that area. So everybody, please be patient, be courteous to other drivers, and of course, be aware about everything that's going on around you. Keep their eyes up for those kids, whether you're in a school zone or not.
All right, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time this morning. So yeah, that's going to be the name of the game, especially when you come to pick up this afternoon, picking up your kids from school. And for any other families who have school starting later this month, just be aware that, you have to be safe, you have to take your time and give yourself plenty of time to get your kids to class. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that live report. It sounds like things went pretty good for the drop-off on the first day.
So far, so good, right?
Good luck to all those students. Students in Rock Hill are also heading back to class today. WCNC caught up with the principal of Sunset Park Elementary ahead of the start of the first day.
Budgeting can be a challenge in terms of having enough supports in order to support students and student achievement, but we do our best that we can, and we use everyone in the way that we can to help support students so that we can ensure that we provide everything that we need to provide to our students. We are ready for parents to just join in and be partners with us so that we can ensure that our kids have a successful school year, and we want them to go out and make their mark.
Again, that's the principal of Sunset Park in the Rock Hill School District. Now, coming up in just a few minutes at 8:30, we're going to be live in Rock Hill to find out how this morning's first day went there. All right, in the future, South Carolina teachers may not have a traditional teaching certification.
It's due to a new pilot program in the state to help combat the teacher shortage. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies what these non-certified teachers need in order to qualify.
This is the first school year South Carolina is trying this pilot program. Now, this is not a mandatory program, but schools can hire non-certified teachers for up to 10% of their staff. Our sources to better understand this program are South Carolina Senate Bill 79, several South Carolina school districts, and the Center for Educator Recruitment, Retention, and Advancement. This South Carolina bill that was passed allows for schools to hire up to 10% of non-certified teachers. This is to address teacher shortage concerns. According to a 2024 report by the Center for Educator Recruitment, Retention, and Advancement, 71 out of 75 schools in the state saw a total of 1,613 vacant teaching positions. Though teachers do not need a certification, there are some guidelines. Teachers must have a relevant bachelor's degree and 5 years of relevant work experience, must complete training and pass evaluations, must enroll in a teacher certification program within 3 years, and must pass background checks.
And they will have access to both initial and ongoing professional development and that support. So we're not just going to put them in the classroom and let them go. They'll have access to support.
The South Carolina Department of Education is creating final guidance before the optional pilot program goes into effect at schools. We reached out to several South Carolina school districts in our area. Lancaster County School District tells us they are waiting for the final guidelines on the pilot program, while Clover School District says they are not participating in the program at this time because they already have a good amount of teachers.
This program runs until 2030 unless lawmakers make it permanent. The Department of Education is required to report back to the General Assembly each year starting in 2026 to see if it's working. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And folks, keep in mind, if there's something you would like us to verify, all you got to do is email us at verify@wcnc.com.
8:10 now in Washington. Some experts are warning of a possible recession amid new tariffs and alarming job numbers.
As NBC's Jay Gray explains, it comes as the president announces new trade agreements with several deadlines looming.
The tug of war over tariffs could reach a tipping point this week.
This is truly the dawn of the golden age of America.
President Trump's controversial strategy to reframe the U.S. and in turn global markets by imposing steep import taxes on dozens of international trading partners set to take effect Thursday.
The president will decide what the president decides, but the president likes those deals. For the deals that aren't ready yet, they're going to get the reciprocal rates soon, and then we would expect that there might continue to be negotiations with those countries.
Some economists warning the higher tariffs could hit consumers.
Prices are high, and they're going to continue to be high,
with the possibility of slowing the economy, leading to inflation and leaving American businesses to pay the tab.
Businesses are having to take a cut to their margins and eat some of this right now, simply because consumers are really just not standing for it.
Especially concerning on the heels of a weak jobs report. The president, without sharing any evidence or data, calling the report rigged and firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3-4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced.
But the former BLS chair appointed by Mr. Trump during his first term says
the commissioner doesn't do anything to collect the numbers. By the time the commissioner sees the numbers, they're all prepared, they're locked in.
Calling the accusations groundless and the firing damaging. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
All right, we want to get back to that breaking news that we've been following here in South Carolina, where Representative Nancy Mace is announcing her run for governor. This is happening at the Citadel in Charleston. Let's listen in.
If you get your commercial driver's license certification at Trident Technical College or any community college or in high school and you're ready to drive, as a commercial truck driver, your starting salary in some places of South Carolina is $80,000 a year. If you have your nuclear welding certificate as a welder, your starting salary in South Carolina is $110,000 a year. Who's had a plumber come to their house lately? I don't know about you, but I'm paying about $250 an hour, and I swear to God, it's a 2-hour minimum. I'm paying $500 every time my plumber comes over. And my plumber, by the way, vacations in Cape Cod every summer. So I missed out on that gig, but they are making money hand over fist. The same thing with electricians. We don't have enough people for these jobs from South Carolina. I want our kids and our students certified for those jobs when they graduate. We're going to ban child porn in libraries. You should see some of the books I have seen recently. We are going to expand adult education as well. We are going to ban pronouns in the classroom. I don't want to see any glitter parties. I want kids coming home with A's and B's, not they and them. We're going to have tech-free school zones. I want to protect teacher wages. And let me be very clear, no state dollars to any K through 12 school, college, or university that teaches there are more than 2 genders. We will not fund any schools that allow biological men in women's bathrooms or locker rooms, that allow men to compete in women's sports, or schools that push gender ideology. Let me tell you today, as governor, you will be cut off. And when it comes to women and children, I want to increase fines and sentences for violent crimes and sexual abuse. We're going to prosecute all crimes, but especially those against children. Donald Gresh is not the only case of a convicted pedophile let off for 1 day in jail. I want to ensure that SLED and all of our men and women in blue have the resources, staffing, and technology to process rape kits and do for all their forensic lab work without delay. We're going to stop treating victims like criminals and criminals like victims. We will follow federal guidelines for trauma-informed investigations and treat victims with dignity and respect. I want to review and audit South Carolina's child welfare system and build out a strategic plan with measurable outcomes. No child left behind. And I will sign a bathroom bill into law because mentally ill men don't belong in women's spaces. I recently, in the National Defense Authorization Act, got passed an amendment that would make child rapists in the UCMJ Uniform Code of Military Justice, would give the death penalty for child rapists. That is something else I support. The last two I want to talk about are infrastructure and energy. As you know, our roads are crumbling.
All right, you've been listening to Congresswoman Nancy Mace down in Charleston as she announces her run for governor. It's been talked about for several weeks now, and she's making it official on this Monday morning that she's in the race. And it is an already crowded race with Alan Wilson, Attorney General of South Carolina, in the race, Ralph Norman, Rock Hill Congressman in the race, Pam Evett, Lieutenant Governor. So she joins a long list of people running, I must say, for just the Republican nomination.
Correct.
But before you even get to the general election, I saw this weekend in an interview with AP, she referred to herself as Donald Trump in heels. And that strikes me because before we get to the Republican primary, we have to get through the Trump primary, because whoever he decides to endorse will have tremendous wind at their back heading into any sort of elective contest.
And he has not endorsed any of these Republican candidates just yet. She did release a video on social media, and there is a clip of President Trump in there talking about Nancy Mace. I know that she is a fighter, but he has not officially endorsed any of these. Of course, this is all because the current governor, Henry McMaster, cannot run again because of term limits in South Carolina. So we'll keep you posted on this. This morning, more Americans are waking up to flood damage after deadly flash flooding hit over the weekend.
This time in Alabama, where dangerous downpours led to one person being killed when their car was swept away. NBC's Maggie Vespa reports.
Heavy downpours in the south turning deadly in at least one state. Officials in Alabama say one person died after the car they were in washed off a roadway. Some areas across that state, as well as Georgia and Florida, bracing for up to half a foot of rain or more. The Gifford fire in Central California now at roughly 40,000 acres and only 5% contained. 3 people have reportedly been injured, ranchers scrambling to save their cattle, but fast-moving flames overtook some.
It smoked us completely, as you can see. It's brutal.
Evacuation orders issued and states of emergency declared from California to Utah to Arizona, but it's Canada's wildfires that are blanketing the eastern half of the U.S. with smoke. On social media, videos showing hazy skies.
So all of these areas that used to be, safe are no longer safe.
Minnesota's air quality alert lasting a week, its longest in history. In Chicago, Cubs fans and Lollapalooza attendees are braving the outdoors days after the city clocked the worst air quality in the world, with experts calling it officially dangerous.
Why? Why do we continuously have to deal with this?
This week has just been hazy, a lot of haze.
This summer of severe weather sparing no corner of the country. New Jersey and New York even rattled by a magnitude 3.0 earthquake Saturday.
Chris joins us now for details on our forecast here and a cooler start to this week.
And it's also going to be a wetter week as well. So this is that classic cold air damming that the clouds, the rain will be on and off throughout the week. But hey, if you like the more late September, early October like weather, it's here for you.
In August.
Yeah, right. I know.
Now, some of us might be disappointed, like, okay, the break over the weekend, that was fine, but didn't realize that it was going to be ongoing. Yeah, we're not going to be anywhere near 90 degrees until about day 9 or 10 of the forecast. So that really says something. So at that point, we're going to be in the middle of August before we actually start feeling like August. Here's what we've seen over the last 24 hours down in Alabama, parts of the Panhandle, and Georgia. This area is that are the most flood prone, and more rain is already taking over southwestern Georgia. That's why this flood watch definitely verifies so far, even this morning. And it's these areas until 8 o'clock will have the best chance for flash flooding, and some of it I think could be life-threatening, that we're upgrading instead of a base flash flood warning as much as a considerable one, so just be advised for those areas. And that area of green will likely be in parts of the Carolinas by tomorrow to Wednesday, just because of our ongoing flood threat. So here's what we're expecting over the next 36 hours. For one, if you have a stationary front down to the south, especially if there's a low pressure system involved, that's going to lead to more widespread rain. But oftentimes you can form something along the frontal boundary, it pushes things off in a direction, and then those band of rain showers will continue to push off in that direction on their own fruition. That's exactly what's going to happen over the next 24 hours as well. Once that front gets a little bit closer to us, that's also going to allow for a better chance for some thunderstorms heading into your Tuesday late afternoon. But all you have to know is on and off rain is going to be a likelihood in the near term. Excessive rain impacts right now, the Weather Prediction Center only calling for a low chance for Tuesday and Wednesday. But as I mentioned, that could change. Already parts of Cleveland County are barely under that medium threat. I think that will expand because I have two different rain models to show you. Number one, this one goes through 5 days. I think this is the baseline that we're going to see 1 to 3 inches across the area over the next 5 days. But ones that are on the upper threshold is this one. This is showing that west of I-77 could have 3 to 4 inches of rain over the next 2 to 3 days. Look at that area of purple and red that eventually starts turning over to more of an orangey color. That represents over 4 inches of rain. And some of these values showing about 1.5 around Gastonia and Concord, about 3.5 over here in Hickory. That brings us up to midnight heading into Thursday. So yeah, a tremendous amount of rain on the way. So flooding is definitely going to be the big story. We're not going weather alert as of yet, just because we don't have really any indications of something that's too excessive for the near term. But hey, if we're continuing to see more rain on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is looking to be a likelihood, flooding is, I think, we're going to turn over to maybe a weather alert day. But not in the near term. We have some on and off showers off towards the west. It's this area right here around Asheville that I think is going to see the most rain, up to about 4 to 5 inches over the next, say, 3 to 4 days. And there's going to be pulses of some heavier showers as well. This brings us up to about noon tomorrow, continuing on and off rain, and then you'll see another final push heading into your Wednesday as well. So just get ready for a really wet forecast. Not great as far as wanting more of those sunny days, because tomorrow I don't think you really see the sun, just like what we saw on Saturday. Wednesday, similar forecast, but we will see a break in the action. Sunshine kind of returns on Thursday with a chance for a thunderstorm, and then just plain old rain, overcast, and mostly cloudy skies heading into the weekend. So not great, Majestic. I know we wanted the sunshine, but it gets better after this.
Okay, well, at least we see some light coming our way. Hey, if you're heading out the door anytime soon, this is I-85 right now. A live look right there. You can see traffic is flowing all right as we're heading out the door for our Monday morning commute. But as we switch it over to our live traffic map, still a handful of active accidents. This right here is not an accident. It's actually a tree that has fallen onto their area roadways. Inbound lanes are now blocked. This is on Providence Road North at Vernon Drive. That purple is that small section of Providence that's actually blocked off. Otherwise, this is actually what it looks like. We have a picture of that. You can see the big tree in the middle of the road and how those cars are having to turn around because it's completely blocking that small section of Providence there. In addition to it, though, lots of ongoing wrecks still. This has not been cleared. This is out towards Independence. I've been talking about it for the last 30 to 45 minutes, and on Independence and Coliseum Drive. And then another one off to the east. This one did get cleared. That was on Albemarle Road. So we can check that one off. Another thing that I'm continuing to follow, though, is I-77 inbound. You can see all of that red there. That's indicating stop and go traffic once you pass a 485 loop right there. No accident, just a lot of people all heading inbound at the same time. And then this lane is still blocked because of an incident. It's on Old Plank Road at Caldwell Williams Road. And off to the west, I do want to show you what I-85 is looking like right now. We mainly have all green, so those slowdowns are really no longer being there. Everyone's actually flowing just fine. So some good news there for your Monday morning commute. That's what I'm watching for now. We'll have another check on those roads for that commute coming up here shortly.
All right, Majestic, thanks. Live pictures right now over uptown on your Monday morning as you head out the door. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus this morning and all day long.
Well, good morning, everybody. Some of us dealing with some light rain down to the south and South Carolina. On and off showers will be possible today. But hey, at times you will see some blue, but it is all in all going to be an overcast to a mostly cloudy day. And it feels okay today as well. Yesterday was very comfortable. Today we're on that comfortable to sticky range before we start to ramp back up that humidity. And the mid to the upper 70s is where we're spending most of the afternoon, but some of us touching 80 degrees. Our high today, 80, actually feels more like September 25th, and our lows of 67 more like late August. So nowhere near where we should be. And believe it or not, these highs, 76, 78, are actually more typical for early October compared to early August. So putting that in perspective, then either side of 80 degrees after that to end the week. We'll see some thunderstorm chances return by Thursday as well, and then rain chances in general through the weekend as we get a little bit warmer back to the mid 80s. Let's head over to Majestic, see how our morning commute's looking.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Waking up in South Carolina. Here's I-77 coming in from York County. Not a bad start to the day. Traffic is flowing just fine. Nothing too significant out there right now. Nothing that we're not used to. This is I-77 just north of Griffith Street, out towards beautiful Lake Norman. But as we switch it over to my map, we still have a handful of problems out there. A lane is blocked because a tree has fallen down, impacting parts of Providence Road northbound at Vernon Drive. Again, northbound lanes blocked right there. There's a tree that's in the middle of the road, so make sure you're mindful of that. Cars are turning around. I'm going to talk more about this coming up on WCNC Plus. Hope to see you over there soon.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8:30 on this Monday. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Right now, a lot of students in Rock Hill are on the bus headed to school, or perhaps they're already there. And this year, that bus ride will be a little easier because the Rock Hill School District is fully staffed with bus drivers.
Not something every district can say. WCNC Charlotte's Bria Smith is live this morning outside of Sunset Park Center. And Bria, this is a huge win for this district.
Yes, Lisa, it is a huge win, and I'll just have you guys take a look. It's a pretty quiet background here at Sunset Park Center for Accelerated Studies. That's because class has already started at 7:45 this morning. But, you know, having these new bus drivers is something school district leaders feel will contribute to a successful and impactful school year. Now that they don't have to worry about last-minute fill-in drivers, and each day 719 routes are run across the district, making the goal to hire more bus drivers top of the list this school year. School district's transportation leaders say this year every full-time seat is filled, relieving the individual responsibility of each driver who contributes to the nearly 12,000 miles each day. Assistant Director of Transportation saying they had to be strategic with their search for new drivers.
Well, we had to start early, and we asked our district to make sure pay was involved. We had to increase the initial entry rate, if I say it correctly, and then we put it out on the social media, all the internet we can use to make sure everyone would come and show up.
Now, the district did add 41 new buses, 36 propane, and 6 new transit to their fleet to help continue to contribute to this effort. For now, reporting live in Rock Hill, Bria Smith, WCNC Charlotte.
We should say this has been a chronic problem as of late in the last few years. School districts in North and South Carolina start, but they don't have all the bus drivers in place. So starting off on a good foot there in Rock Hill. All right, Bria, thank you. Appreciate it. And folks, don't forget, you can help out as well. We're partnering with United Way for our own back to school supply drive, so you can help students begin the school year on the right foot as well with all the things they need. You can scan that QR code on your screen, or if it's easier, go to our website, WCNC.com/community. You have until August 11th.
Let's check back in with Chris now to find out more about our cool, dreary start to the week.
At least it was a little bit more prevalent, but I did see a little bit more glint of sunshine, but we're seeing a little bit of blue sky here. So today I think is better than yesterday, but just like yesterday, it did get a little bit brighter, and then all of a sudden the clouds moved back in. So you will see some periodical sunshine, but all in all, clouds are definitely the majority of our skyscape. And oh, what's that? Here's our Dallas camera. If you look really closely, you can see the Queen City off into the distance. So at least visibility is clear enough to see that. And here is the rain down towards the south. Not much really happening here, and this is barely hitting the ground. So I'm actually borrowing one of Majestic's cameras down here in South Carolina. Not really seeing too much of a wet ground. Now I did see a little bit of mist settings on some of these windshield wipers here. So just a very light rain. I would even say borderline drizzle. But when the kids are heading back to school for day 2 tomorrow in the area I was just showing you around Rock Hill, Fort Mill, for York and Chester counties, I'm anticipating rain not just in the morning, but then also again for the afternoon. I think there's going to be more breaks the further east that you go. And then our day and nighttime rain chances, they really start to come up for your Tuesday into Wednesday. And then after that, just a chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday through the weekend. So this is not really a forgiving forecast that you're going to allow for those on and off showers. But coming up, I'm going to have a full future cast for you as well as your 7-day forecast. But let's head back to Ben and Lisa in the meantime.
All right, Chris, thanks.
Well, happening right now, Monroe Police honoring an officer who was injured in the line of duty. This is a live look at that ceremony. The officer is set to return to work today. We told you earlier she was injured on May 31st when a suspect shot at her during a violent crime spree that left 2 people dead.
Yeah, you can see her vehicle just riddled in bullets there. And you can imagine the recovery that she's had to go through since that happened. Now, she's returning to work today, and as you could see from those live pictures that we'll go back to, really getting a hero's welcome. It's not every day that you come back to work and you've got all your coworkers, and not only that, but members of the community coming out to thank you.
And here's the thing, we know like a lot of our first responders and emergency probably doesn't want all of that attention, but of course they want to thank her for the work that she did and welcome her back as she returns to work today. Again, this is in Monroe. We know that she was in the hospital for 2 days before being released. The police say that suspect in that shooting was Joshua Sykes, and authorities say that he led officers on a high-speed chase that eventually ended on Gold Mine Road near River Chase Drive, again in Monroe. Police say that when Sykes ran, shot at them, and then hit that officer, there was quite a manhunt for him. He was eventually shot and killed. But again, we are waiting to see the officer returning to work today after being injured during that crime spree there.
A good chance to thank her for her service, and of course all the officers out there who work to make our communities safer. And also good to see her getting a hero's welcome as she returns to work. I'm sure she's excited to be back, and I'm sure her colleagues are as well.
Definitely. Well, while we're waiting for this, I think we're going to get a check on our traffic quickly from Majestic.
All right, good Monday morning, everyone. Hey, if you're heading out the door this morning, we're off to a fine start to the day. This is I-77 just north of Griffith. Not seeing any major concerns there, but as we switch it over to my map, let me break down a few things that I'm watching, and I'll also give you some updates. Still, this lane, actually both lanes, the inbound lanes, are blocked because a tree has fallen over. Remember, this is on Providence Road north at Vernon Drive. This purple's indicating where it's actually blocked off, and then that red there is just now showing that backup there. This is a picture of that tree that's in the middle of the street. That's the reason that those roads are blocked off still at this time. In addition to that, I want to take you up to I-77, a new accident now just popping up. It's impacting the center lane. It's blocked because of a crash. It's on I-77 northbound. That's before exit 30, which is Griffith Street. You can see those backups right there building right there where that accident is. Again, I-77 northbound. And then Independence, that one has finally cleared, so no longer a problem for us as we're heading out the door this morning. I-77 seeing a lot of orange right here, just indicating that cars are moving rather slowly. Thankfully, no accidents to report on I-77 right here, but just a lot of people all heading in the same direction. Lisa.
Thanks, and we're going to go back to Monroe, I think, to see the officer there who was preparing to return to work, again after being injured. Let's listen in if we can.
Sweat, right? That is correct. Could I have you the last name? Sweat, S-W-E-A-T-T.
So we're good using it?
Yes.
So seeing her walk through that door, I mean, what's that like after all of these past few weeks worrying about it, listening to her reading the front,
I had chills when she got out of the car. I'm so grateful that she's here. I think we're all so grateful that she's here, but all the officers that were involved. And she is such a positive ray of sunshine anyway, so it's a great day. And I'm sure you mentioned back in May that at that time, like one of the other officers picked her up, took her in the back of the car just to absolutely waste no time getting her to the hospital. How much time has the people in the department leaned on each other? A lot. It's been just an experience that I've never felt before. Everybody's a lot closer now than they were before, and it's something that I think will be that way for a really, really long time. M-A-D-I-S-O-N, sweat, S-W-E-A-T-T. And I was talking to one of the residents, and she said that you used to have a patrol car out here. Yes. And showing that you just what was the purpose? Chief Boland wanted to put that car out here so that people saw what she faced. There were different versions of the story that people were telling, but when you looked at that vehicle, there was no question that she was ambushed and that the person meant to kill her. So he left the car out here until it was totaled by insurance, because all those bullets actually went through the firewall of the vehicle. So it's miraculous that she is here. How do you feel when you see her walking and her whole community? It feels really good, and it's so nice to have all these people that came out to support her. And like I said, I had a little bit of chills when she got in the car. Yeah. And when you say that she's returning for light duty, what does that mean? She still has a long road to recovery. They're going to remove one of the bullets tomorrow, actually. So she still has recovery, and we don't know when she'll actually be back to full duty, but she'll be in the building, and she'll be able to do some things around here to be part of us. Is she a patrol officer? She is. in her shoulder.
How many bullets in that?
So she was shot 3 times. One went through and through, one is still in there, and then something grazed the head.
What message you want to send to it?
She wanted everybody to know that she is so grateful to serve a community that has supported her like this and came out on their time to welcome her back. And she said that she is so excited. She can't wait to go back to work and to serve the community.
Is she interested?
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank all of you guys for being here.
And we've been listening, and you heard another officer there speak about the officer who was returning to work today after being injured during a crime spree in Monroe, saying that she was grateful and thankful to see her coworkers and for that hero's welcome that she received upon returning to work this morning.
And so impressed by it as well. I mean, I think we know the harrowing job of a police officer on a day-to-day basis, but the fact that she went through all those injuries, shot 3 times, it sounds like, and just more than 2 months later, a few months later, is back at the job. A lot of folks would expect that she might be hesitant or scared, but back at the job within a matter of months. And I can tell the folks of Monroe are grateful for that.
For sure. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, law enforcement agencies nationwide are going to spend time connecting with their communities for the annual National Night Out. This happens on the first Tuesday of August, allowing agencies to build stronger relationships with those they serve. This year, the U.S. Attorney's Office says it will take part as well. We spoke to U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson of North Carolina's Western District, who says it's important for all law enforcement to be represented.
It's like make a friend before you need a friend. You get to know your neighborhood police officers and the police officers patrolling your streets. And if, God forbid, anything ever happens, you've got that relationship there.
Federal prosecutors will also join events in several Charlotte area communities tomorrow, and you can see a list of those right there on the screen. You can also find the full list on the WCNC Charlotte app.
8:42 right now here on WCNC Plus, and in the last hour, South Carolina Congressman Nancy Mace making it official, formally announcing her run for governor. She says she's running to put South Carolina first. Okay, evidently we do not have that soundbite. We dipped into live coverage of it earlier. She's been in Charleston this morning announcing what was already much talked about over the last few weeks, that she in fact is running for governor, joining a crowded field in the Republican primary.
As the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene approaches, North Carolina lawmakers continue to hear from frustrated constituents who say that the help to rebuild just isn't coming fast enough.
Laura Leslie has more on the efforts to restore Western North Carolina.
Lawmakers are frustrated that even though it's been 10 months since Helene and they've appropriated hundreds of millions of dollars in relief, the state has not yet rebuilt a single home. Senator Tim Moffitt lives in one of the hardest hit areas.
Our constituents are looking to us for answers, and they're looking to us for solutions because that's where we live. We've done all that we can do, and it seems like the money just gets caught up in these systems.
The state relief package says home rebuilding has to be reimbursable by federal funds. Recovery Chief Matt Calabria says those are notoriously slow to arrive.
It is virtually unheard of for a CDBG-DR funded program for home rebuilding and reconstruction to have started within 1 year, but that's still our goal.
Calabria said state money is being used for pre-planning and site assessments, but he also said FEMA is supplying far less money than it has for other states facing similar storms, and it's aggressively denying many requests. Representative Mark Pless said his constituents can't afford to wait any longer.
This is for the lower income folks, the middle income folks that have no other options except us. And we promised them that we were going to help them in this storm. The governor's office has promised them that they're going to help them in this storm. And so far that hasn't happened.
What do you say to people in Western North Carolina who are just waiting for somebody to come rebuild their house?
We share people's frustration. We know that this is hard and that these regulatory processes, particularly at the federal level, are really difficult. And so we have done everything that we can to push.
Laura Leslie with that report there. In South Carolina, a major boost in disaster relief is finally on the way. More than 10 months after Hurricane Helene, the federal government just approved a $150 million plan to help with disaster recovery. However, state officials say they still need more than $2 billion to fully recover, and much of that is for housing.
Good news, as no damage reported after a 3.0 earthquake shook parts of New Jersey and New York Saturday night.
New Jersey residents were reminded of last year's 4.8 earthquake that struck in April. Reporter Jessica Cunnington has more.
I was just about falling asleep and I hear bang and my windows rattled. And of course I jump up, I go, what the was that?
That was Maura Kelly's Saturday night.
5 minutes later, my phone rang.
Turns out her neighbors felt it too.
I'm talking to town, but that one last night, that was scary.
Along with many people in Hasbrook Heights.
And I was kind of like dozing, and all of a sudden I heard a big boom. I thought it was an accident. And then I jumped up, I went in the living room. My husband said he got jolted off the lounge chair.
It was a magnitude 3.0 earthquake, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, at 10:18 p.m. Saturday night, centered around Hasbrook Heights, but felt across New York City and Westchester County.
I never thought I would have something like that here.
Now it's the most recent earthquake in New Jersey after a series of small quakes were recorded late last month near Randolph. None of them as strong as last year's earthquake in April, felt across the Northeast. That one centered in Tewksbury, New Jersey, magnitude 4.8.
But the one last year in April, I was in the kitchen and I was holding on the island and the lights were shaking, but it was so different last night. They're more often, you know, it's scary. It was scary.
No immediate reports of damage after Saturday night's earthquake, but it's another one to talk about. Officials also warned of possible aftershocks.
Even when we've had really bad storms, I've never heard my windows rattle like that.
Well, look at this earthquake chart because it's a 3 that usually things are just a minor level, so often felt but no damage. It's about 100,000 of these per year, so not really a big rarity here. Still powerful. That's equivalent to about 1,000 pounds of explosive, which, by the way, each of these levels, as they have increased by a multiple of 33. So each level gets 33 times stronger than the previous one. Over the last 24 hours, the last 3 magnitude earthquake that we had was right around Wichita, Kansas. Again, you can kind of feel it, but no damage is usually felt at that point. Now let's get over to our forecast. Now our dew points are settling down to a really nice range. So this one over here showing over the past week, and then this one to the right shows the forecasted dew points. Now, of course, they rise and fall with the afternoons and the mornings, but I'm happy to say that today we're right around that comfy range. It gets a little bit stickier through the overnight, and then by tomorrow and beyond, we're starting to get a little bit more humid each and every day. That's also going to lead to some upped rain chance, especially for tomorrow and your Wednesday, and then just a scattered chance after that. This afternoon, it actually has the best chance of staying dry over the next few days. Yes, you could still have a passing shower. Some light rain's already being seen down here in Rock Hill, around the York County area and Chester County as well. If you were out and about yesterday afternoon, you might have gotten impacted by that rain. It was very light at first, and then it picked up. It was a little bit steadier, but it's nothing that's really too inconvenient. You can walk back and forth to the car or to the store without getting absolutely soaked. Now, I do think that we'll have more soaking rains by tomorrow morning. At that point, we're have widespread activity in the western side of the Carolinas and really west of I-77. So that could impact some bus stop goers in York and Chester County went back to school today. And then we'll see on and off rain throughout much of the day. Now, there's an exception here. Wadesboro, Rockingham, Cheraw, naming 3 counties in Anson, Richmond, and Chesterfield County. You barely really have any rain over the next few days. Yes, you could start to see some more showers really by the back end of your Tuesday and again into your Wednesday, but you're relatively dry over the next couple. And then by Wednesday, I think we have more pulses of some heavier rain, and it's just on and off rain, on and off rain. And depending which areas see the most, we are going to have an increased flooding potential, because by the back end of this forecast, right now we're dealing with what's called cold air damming, that everything's backed up against the mountains. Well, that breaks the low pressure system, potentially makes landfall Friday heading into the weekend, but that's a lot of rain along the shoreline, and that still keeps more clouds around. So we don't really have the big time high pressure system that dries things out and warms things up. up. Instead, we're dealing with more like September-like conditions. And by the way, that low pressure system potentially could be tropical. So look at our tropical development and the chances. We have a 50-50 shot that over the next, I would say, 4 to 7 days, that this could be the next development. I think it's really from the end of that 7-day forecast to day 10 that we have a better curve out in the Atlantic. Meanwhile, Dexter formed last night. Dexter's not an issue to anyone. Dexter's really nice. I was secretly hoping that Dexter would not be one of the worst storms that we had this year because it's Dexter, right? Even though I guess there is a show, Dexter, that isn't so great as far as a human being. But anyways, we're going to move on. 30% as far as your chance for development. And this is right off the Carolinas. So it's South Carolina and North Carolina that could have a lot of clouds and rain right along the shoreline. But here's what it looks like for our futurecast. Now, this might look pretty complicated. What I'm showing you right here is the white lines are mean sea level pressure. And then, of course, the green is all the precipitation that can come from it. Whenever we're looking at the tropics, we're trying to find closed lows. Because once you get a closed low, you get sustained winds at 39 miles per hour or greater. And then also when you have a warm core to that, then that's all the boxes that need to be checked for this to become a tropical storm. So we do see some indications here on Friday that we have a closed low. We'll just see if some other boxes as far as the winds are concerned that we could potentially have a tropical system make landfall here in the Carolinas by the back end of the forecast. This, meanwhile, is what Dexter is going to be doing by the back end of the forecast, still rocking tropical storm strength. But we're watching this little wave up here. It's this little guy that potentially could start to be locked and loaded. There's that closed load that we were mentioning by about the middle of next week. So that's why I think day 7 to 10 might be a better shot for that. So we're tracking the tropics. Dexter, here's what it's going to do. Move out to the northern part of the Atlantic. This is the definition of a fish storm that is only going to be affecting the fishies and, of course, some ships that are going to be moving across that area. And the next names that we have to look forward to are Aaron and Fernan. So Fernan is the pronunciation here. Then we have Gabriel and then Umberto. And we're actively starting to hit the time of the year that is really every week that we have usually on average a tropical system starting to develop, and then it could be every few days by the early to mid part of September, where 85% of all tropical storms and hurricanes actually form from August and beyond. So welcome to the nearing peak of hurricane season. We're really going to see a lot of activity ramp up over the next few weeks. 7-day forecast, 80 degrees for today, then the mid to the upper 70s, feel more like October on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then either side of 80 degrees to end the week, we're also going to see some of those thunderstorm potentials starting to up beyond what we have today. And then back to the mid 80s on Saturday and Sunday. That'll lead to on and off rain. And then we should be back to around 90 degrees by day about 8, 9, or 10, but well below normal in the meantime, Majestic, and feeling pretty cloudy as well.
Definitely. It's a cloudy start to the week, and it seems like we better get used to it. It's going to be a cloudy week in general. Here we go. If you have places to be this morning, here's a live look outside. This is I-77 coming in and from our York County cameras. You can see cars are definitely moving all right. A little bit more congestion now. My map has actually quieted down a lot. Still following this, though, the inbound lanes are still blocked. This is on Providence Road north at Vernon Drive right there. You can see that purple just indicating that that road is currently blocked. So this is a tree that they're trying to get out of the road, but it's definitely slowing people down. It's only a small portion of Providence Road that's actually blocked right now, so do keep that in mind. Otherwise, we just saw this map that was so busy with a whole lot of accidents, but thankfully, like I said, making some nice improvements for us. As we're heading up to the north now, I want to take you up to I-77. This is where we do have another crash. The center lane is currently blocked because of it. It's on I-77 northbound before exit 30. That's Griffith Street. So northbound lanes, you can see that red right there, starting to back things up because of that ongoing crash. I want to show you big picture perspective. Again, I-77 coming in towards Uptown. Not seeing anything too concerning there. Much of the same right there. All right, guys, over to you.
Majestic, thanks. Happening right now, Monroe Police honoring one of their own. We've been talking about it all morning long. And these are live pictures right now outside Monroe PD after Officer Madison Sweat made her return this morning. We actually have video of that moment when it happened. This is just all in the last 30 minutes or so, her getting the applause of her colleague as well as community members. Shot during what some have described as an ambush back in May, suffering 3 gunshot wounds, going through rehab, getting better over the last few months, and remarkably, just in the last 30 minutes, returning to work there as a Monroe police officer.
All right, we'll continue to follow this and bring you any updates. But again, we know that the officer, Madison Sweat, has returned to work at the Monroe Police Department. I'm sure that all of her coworkers are glad that she is, one, safe and also back at work.
And thanks to her from just about everybody. All right, that's going to do it for us right now. Coming up next right here on WCNC Plus, Jane Montreal is taking over from our Live Impact Stream studio. She'll have the latest breaking news from the day, and she'll also have a check of a lot of other things as well, including weather. That's coming away right here on WCNC Plus.
Officially back to the 70s, 71 right here around Charlotte. We are seeing some brighter skies to start off the day. Some of us dealing with some light rain though. 68 degrees still and overcast right around Rock Hill, and then still some light rain over in Cleveland County right around Shelby. On and off light rain showers to be possible throughout the day, with high temperatures reaching the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Truly, I think the most sunshine we see is this morning. By the afternoon, I think those clouds get a little bit thicker, and we could even see some rain similar timing to yesterday, mid to late afternoon, and that'll continue to be more widespread west of I-77 through the overnight, either side of 80 degrees in the near term. Majestic, what's going on?
Good morning, everyone. Want to let you know about a blocked road that's still ongoing. It's been ongoing for a while now and still not cleared. You can see my map right here. It's bringing in some problems as we're heading out the door, so you want to be mindful of that. It's going to be as we're heading towards, just south of the Uptown area. We have a tree that's in the middle of the road. It's on Providence Road. It's only blocking those inbound lanes, so keep that in mind if you're heading out the door. Otherwise, stay close to WCNC.